Well, good morning. I'm Barry O'Brien here on CVU Radio, and we are once again live from the mayor's office in downtown West Palm Beach with West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyo. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Barry. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Another Chamber of Commerce day. It seems like every week we're saying this. It's getting warm, but it hasn't gotten humid yet. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Snowbirds are going back, and traffic's a little bit lighter. Boy.
Can get into restaurants.
Yeah. So we want to thank our friends at Cosmo and Company for helping us to bring this to our listeners every Saturday and Sunday morning here on Seaview. Sunfest just got over. From everything that I've heard, it was a wild success. I went down and saw the Doobie Brothers on Friday night. It looked like the crowd was well behaved. It looked like there were no long waits. If I wanted a beer, which I did, I had no difficulty getting one. Seemed like there were plenty of portable toilets around and whatever. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I think things went really well this year. Good acts, and Sunfest did a great job setting up. It was probably one of the best years in terms of getting things set up quickly and efficiently. So I think they did a good job. Congratulations to them.
A lot of people come in for that. It's really
They do.
I've had a lot of friends from out of town who are aware of it, and I'm surprised that they were. So I would imagine that it brings a lot of.
I was talking to some folks from Miami who had come up from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's pretty typical. Yeah, one of the cool things that we had this year was our fire chief, Carlos Cabrera, arranged to have a MASH unit, basically, available. And this is something that is doctors and paramedics and nurses have, and they go out to various places, and it's sort of part of their training and part of what they do to be ready if there's a disaster. They train in certain areas. So this year they were here, and I guess they treated over 200 people, and were able to triage there so that folks didn't have to be taken to the hospital.
So did you have the MASH unit next to the mosh pit? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist
No, I know,
that.
but some of my staff asked me if I would stage dive, but I told them no.
No, you didn't do that. Talk to me a little bit about the city's participation in electric vehicle charging. I know I shared an email with you earlier this week. We're in some discussions with our condo unit, a condo building downtown. And I know you've got some chargers in the public garages. And obviously, this is going to become a much larger thing. More and more people are looking at electric vehicles. How does the city view this, and what is your participation and encouragement in this area?
Well, we're we have a really outstanding sustainability department, and certainly one of my goals is to make the city a green city. We have five of our own electric vehicles that we've purchased, and we have electric vehicle charging stations open to the public in the Clematis Street garage. So they're available there.
Is that the garage that's connected to City Hall?
No, it's the one just west of the railroad tracks. That one.
Oh,
over there.
okay, yes, okay, the brand new garage, okay,
Yeah, the new
all right.
garage, that's
Okay.
just west of the railroad tracks. So I think that there are 5 charging stations there, 3 open to the public.
And how does that work? Do people pay for?
Yeah, you just pull in, and the machine's there, and you put your credit card in, and
Okay, so you pay,
Yes.
so you pay for parking and you pay for the electricity?
yeah, I think probably, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that the mall has electric charging stations. The new outlet center has electric charging
The
stations.
outlet center has outlets.
They do.
What a thought. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both kinds. So they have a lot of charging stations in their parking lot.
So, and I don't know whether they're free or not. I know a lot of the retail places, in order to get people to come in, are giving it. So, I mean, that would be like getting free gas. That's
cool.
a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things, I got an email from somebody a while ago who lives in Wellington, and he said he comes down to charge his car, And then he goes and walks on Clematis Street and around downtown and frequents some of the businesses here, the restaurants. And he said he probably would never have done that if he didn't come down here for the charging station. So
Right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this all evolves. Take a look at this in 10 years and 20 years. I mean, obviously, you can't be just giving away electricity if you have 20% of the cars, now when you only have a few of them. It's a different situation, but it's an interesting technology, and it's certainly a challenge for people who live downtown. And I would imagine that we're going to be having a much larger influx of people downtown. It's very difficult if you live in a condo to do it. So having opportunities for them to do that is
the other thing we have, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, but we have a We Car in our Vernia Street garage.
Yes, I looked at that yesterday. Yes, actually, it is a changed name. It's now Enterprise.
Well, it was always run by Enterprise, so it depends
Oh,
on.
okay. I think they changed the name of it. Yes, and
Okay.
it was a little
So
Prius.
you can rent it for short periods of time during the day. So if you're a downtown resident and you don't have a car, or you only have one car and you need a second car for a couple hours, you can actually do a rental right there.
It's a great option, and if you do live downtown, I would highly recommend that you utilize something like that, because if you don't, it'll go away.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if you ended up having a whole fleet of them. If you go to cities like Boston and New York, there are Zip cars, which is another
Right.
brand. They're the ones who basically started it. They are all over the place. I know when I lived in Boston, there was a Zip car that was located right in front of our condo building, and it was right at the MBTA trolley stop, and it made it great for people to be able to use.
Yeah.
It really does give people an awful lot of flexibility. All right, we're going to take a little brief break here. We're going to hear from Cosmo and Company, and we will be right back. Welcome back. We are with West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyo from the mayor's office here in downtown West Palm Beach. We're talking about the news of the week and all different things that are going on. A lot of opposition up north to All Aboard Florida. It's really catching my attention. I think that for the last year and a half or so, people have kind of said, gee, that's a really good idea. And now people up north are looking and seeing, well, gee, these trains are going to come through here at 110 miles an hour, and there are not going to be any stops here. We don't really like it that much. And on my radio show last night, I had the president of the Realtors Association of Jupiter to Cuesta Hobe Sound, Bill Hall, and they have actually come out in opposition to it. And obviously, with the station in West Palm Beach being located right downtown here, we have a tremendous opportunity for economic development here around that station. But obviously, there are concerns with the crossings. Can you give us your thoughts on how you're proceeding with that, and what your conversations are with All Aboard Florida and Florida East Coast Railroad with the freight traffic?
Well, we meet with them on a regular basis, and as you said, we here in West Palm Beach are going to get the benefit of having this station. I totally understand the concerns that folks outside of West Palm Beach have. But we continue to be positive about having All Aboard Florida in our city, and we've seen already an uptick in properties being purchased around the station and development being proposed. And I think that's in part due to the fact that the station is going to be there. As I said, we meet with them regularly, All Aboard Florida, and we have several demands that we are negotiating with them on. Quiet zones are our number one concern. We have 35 crossings here in the city, somewhere between 35 and 39, depending on how you count them. We expect there to be quiet zones. So part of our discussions with them is how do we make quiet zones happen? The state has decided to put $10 million in the coffers for quiet zones at the state level. Our local Palm Beach County MPO has set aside $6.6 million, and then we've recently applied for a Tiger grant with Broward County together, Palm Beach County and Broward County, for quiet zones. So that's moving forward.
Now, if I understand correctly, it is the obligation of the city to make quiet zones happen, right? I mean, if I'm running the railroad, I think I would probably prefer to blow the horn for my own safety.
Well, the city or the area has to apply for them. We're hoping that we'll get some funding from these other sources to make it happen. And if we don't get enough funding, we're hoping that All Aboard Florida will help us out. But I think I know we're gonna move forward with quiet zones. We're also looking for pedestrian crossings because the station is gonna close off two of our streets, Datura and Datura and Ivernia. We want pedestrian crossings over Quadrille so you can walk through those closings. We also want a reliever road so that when a car heading east comes up to the station, they'll be able to go
Right.
north or south.
That's between Datura and Ivernia?
Well,
Is that-
between Ivernia and Fern and between Datura and Clematis.
Right.
So there are 3 or 4 things.
Mm-hmm.
We want landscaping to be beautiful. I think there are 6 things that we are working with them on that we're looking for. And they're looking at some things from us in return, and hopefully we'll be able to come to an agreement.
Sure. It's interesting you mentioned about the pedestrian crossing. We were just talking about that a couple of weeks ago with a pedestrian crossing of the potential at the Convention Center Hotel. So now, all of a sudden, I'm thinking of Minneapolis and all these buildings that have got connections on the second floor, but you've got pedestrian issues here that the city really didn't deal with before.
Well, one of the best parts of our city is our grid. So we have a great downtown grid, and
Right.
cities with good downtown grids are very walkable. And, we're really focused on a walkable city. And we have had Jeff Speck here, and Jeff is coming back on May 27th, and he's going to be giving his report to the City Commission. And so he's helped us to think about what those pedestrian walkovers would be, and they're not, they're just over, they're not over a huge space. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen.
Police chief, what's the status on that?
We will be bringing a recommendation to the City Commission at the May 27th meeting.
Yeah, I don't want to push you on it. I mean, I know I'm on the short list, but I just...
That's just because you want a Crown Vic, that's
I
why.
do. I do want a Crown Vic candidate. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that is going to, this is going to catch you completely off guard, okay? And I'm only asking this question because now I can, okay? I've often wondered when I've been down here, okay? What is the story with golf carts on the street in downtown West Palm Beach? Now, I come from another part of the country where they always required vehicles to be licensed and have little plates on them. It's like, and at Sunfest, an event boat show, you see them all over the place, but very frequently I see other ones and they've got little DDA stickers on them, whatever. If one of these things hits me, do they have insurance or can they just drive without license plates?
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh.
I know that our security ambassadors have a golf cart, and they use that as part of their security patrols. And I know that our Parks and Rec department has.
Well, there's our question of the week. So next week I can ask you that question again and we'll know the answer. All right, that's it for this week. I'm Barry O'Brien. We've been with West Palm Beach Mayor Jerry Moyo from the Mayor's office in downtown West Palm. Thanks to our friends at Cosmo and Company, and we will see you again next weekend.